Marlowe took refuge in cloud patterns, blooming flowers in his garden, the droning bee buzz. This is a holy act. Be the light, shine bright, come from a sacred place. Seek small, beautiful moments on earth. Marlowe's art had something to do with process and performance, like Jackson Pollock. All change and transience and drips. It was about the gathering, sorting, collating, patterning, the everyday doing, and how action can build up to tangible works of art. Any material is art material, whatever is readily available. Live next to the tire repair, you paint tires. Marlowe used rough materials, vinyl signage, lampshades, floor tile, river rocks, scrap wood, and cardboard. He'd put words on cardboard and throw the stack of cardboard compositions into a pile to be forgotten while he tossed new pictures onto the pile. He imagined them as puzzle pieces to arrange and rearrange until he saw a pattern or a story or some insight he hadn't deliberately sought, some accident. A piece from one pile might work with something from another pile, and when he found this bridge piece, a light would go on.
This is like what happens with songwriters who carry a line in their notebooks for years until they find the right other lines that make what didn't work in a song work. Marlowe's quest was to stumble upon the unexpected that had some rightness to it, some power, some flash of insight. He believed all of our life should be examined, that all of our life is treasure. Nothing is to be wasted. The whole cloth of life is the canvas. All can be instructive, even our worst sin. Redemption is a life process. Marlowe would approach his own buried past like a man digging, not afraid to return again and again to the same matter, not afraid to scatter it as one scatters earth, to turn it over as one turns over the soil.
Marlowe didn't know how to tell his story except in a personal way, and with prehistoric tools and unfiltered truth, Marlowe attempted to transform the Furies into art. He would not reverberate the news, but manifest it in the spirit of a dream he could in no way control. He wanted honesty, to feel the whirlwind, to dance the dance, to feel the beat come up through the feet. And Marlowe watched a troupe of players dance before him, and in each of these characters were clues to his own character. And there was always a leading role for him. Somebody had to be 3-eye open. Somebody had to watch the watchman in the back room, watching them count the dough. And everyone doesn't move through the world with an interior laugh track. The job of the composer is to be composed, to show up and be honest. Don't strive for perfection. Ongoing improvement is enough. Don't fear what others think. Don't disparage the impractical. Don't be afraid to be heartfelt or to express fear. There is poetry in everything. Marlowe thought about all the amazing creative people he had met over the years, some famous, some unknown, how they had inspired him and what he owed them back. He had drifted off the grid on his own tangent, but now to those friends he said, I am here. I feel what you feel. I want to add my voice. So Marlowe rubbed sticks together and tried to make sparks to keep enough energy flowing, to keep his mind's lamp lit, to see ahead on the path where there were no footprints. Marlowe saw himself as a tribal shaman. Imagine you must chronicle the story of the clan on a cave wall with chalk. You have no prior training, but the task has fallen to you. Given this task, the goal is to communicate clearly, precisely, intelligently, and as wisely as possible. An unclear communication is no communication at all. A muddled message is just that. A complicated story must be made understandable and also be sufficiently compelling and entertaining so a future audience will be interested. His goal was to develop a simple visual idiom to express complex thoughts filled with wit, compassion, honesty, irony, sarcasm, sexuality, tenderness, humor, pathos, painted words, and words that paint. Two things juxtaposed to create a third thing. Think music and lyric. This style, crude and limited, still allowed him an extravagant range of emotion. The art must have a vibe, an essence, a unique tone. What Marlowe painted was attitude. His aim was to capture some clarity, to calm his mind and ease his anxiety. In a time without memory, how does any history survive? And how is the dissembler of fiction to compete with the unbelievability of the news? Marlowe had a loathing for being too on the money. He preferred to mirror reality through a parallel universe, like imagery in a dream. His strategy was not to take on the news head on, but instead to record the rhymes, echoes, and shadows. His way was to put the Potemkin village present through a blender, a prism of refracted light, to be strained through his dreams and acted out on his canvases.
Marlowe looked to the past to see the future. The big fire in Soho, 7 children and an old man. Mackie Messer in the crowd. No one asks why. That man, he knows nothing. And then the refrain. Some are in the darkness and the others in the light. But you only see those in the light. Those in the darkness you don't see. A long ways from Bobby Darin.